incriminating their favorite streamers and serving them up on a golden platter.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, do I have some slop for you today. Ethan Klein recently released his second content nuke on several streamers. Now look, I would have covered this content nuke a lot sooner, but I felt like I had to sit on my thoughts on this content nuke because I have a lot of differing opinions and thoughts, and I've seen lots of differing thoughts and opinions on this that don't all quite go together. That will become very apparent as we go through the key moments of this content nuke and break down what Ethan Klein is talking about and what he plans to do. So in that regard, I apologize for the delay in this video coming out, but without further ado, let's dive straight into Ethan Klein's second content nuke.
Let me tell you guys a story. About a year and a half ago, there's a big conversation called ReactGate. ReactGate was a debate going on in the streaming community about what constituted fair use.
This is 100% something that if you've been on the internet over the past couple of years, you would have definitely heard about, or at least the fallout from that and the whole debacle about reaction streamers, and them not giving too much of a reaction and what constitutes to fair use, as Ethan Klein said. So for example, watching a full video, not linking it, not really giving too much commentary, and then just uploading that full VOD with a very similar title, very similar thumbnail to the original, and getting all the views that original video might have possibly had. If you can't tell by now, that's what a large majority of this content nuke is about.
You have people like Hassan Piker paving the way of fair use with what's known as chair reacts, when Hassan gets up to go to the bathroom, or to eat, or to talk to his mom, or to do whatever, disappears for an extended period of time, and leaves the video playing for his chair. Mr. Chair, they call it.
This isn't something that only content creators like Hassan do and the people that I mentioned in this video. This is very much a common occurrence with streamers, and especially over the past year or so, where they will just leave a video playing as they go to the toilet and then come back and continue watching it and not really give any feedback, any criticism, or any comment on the video that they are watching. They don't actually give any commentary. If you're leaving a video playing in its entirety for 2 to 5 minutes whilst you go and do something else, and the video is just playing on your screen whilst you're doing nothing, there's just an empty chair there, that isn't fair use whatsoever. You're not adding sufficient commentary to that, you're not critiquing it, you're not adding comments, or you're not doing anything there, you're just leaving a video playing whilst you go and do something else for your stream. They are watching a video through your stream whilst you're not there. That is something that should 100% be criticized, called out, and made fun of. It's a scummy practice to be doing, and all you really have to do in this situation, if you do need to go to the toilet or do something else in the middle of the stream, is either pause the video you're watching or get a piece of your own content up and play that on stream instead of playing somebody else's content whilst you're going.
Do not This operation will result in killings, hostages and captivity. Will result in the death of
We're communication.
Well, I've been seeing
Russia,
including IDFs
for an
Yes, the chair reaction thing is something that has been openly spoken about, heavily critiqued over the past few months, the past year or so now, but I do think more action needs to take place to prevent this, and that is 100% easier said than done, and that does seem like a lot of hassle to prevent someone just from leaving their chair and leaving a video playing, but it is gross and it does take away from other people's content. But I don't particularly, as you're going to see, agree with the way that Ethan Klein has gone about this, or to the extent that he has gone to.
Streamers themselves to admit that they're stealing content.
Well, guys, if you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, follow, subscribe, throw a prime if you like the content, if you enjoyed your time here.
It turns out they just do it for you. You couldn't cook up a more incriminating statement if you tried. Denims, the queen of self-owning, you prevail again.
Now, when it comes to phrases like, if you enjoy taking views away from that content creator by watching this video, or if you don't want to watch that piece of content, watch my coverage of it instead, I think that this can be weaponized pretty maliciously. As you'll see throughout this video, Ethan Klein does bring up these types of phrases quite a lot, and I recently saw a take about this that I do have to say that I do particularly agree with. I'm mostly worried about jokes or insults getting I've watched people's stuff before and made the joke of, haha, let's steal their viewers and watch it on my stream so many times. I have to say I agree with AugierFC here. I think that this does set a bad precedent. I've made similar jokes in the past, even about iDubbbz's content cop, for example, when I decided to promote my video going over his initial content cop on H3. Of course, usually I always encourage people to go and watch the original video that I'm reacting to and commenting on and critiquing, so you get a full scope of the situation, But of course, I do occasionally make jokes like that, and we like to have a bit of fun here at Slot Mule. But now that Ethan Klein has kind of opened the floodgates here, I fear that jokes like this and just jokes in general are going to be heavily more weaponized against now.
There's one thing about copyright you should know is that you got to register it before you publish to be eligible for statutory damages and attorney's fees, which is the main biting force of a copyright infringement lawsuit. Well, I'm happy to tell you guys now, I, Ethan Klein, have registered Hassan Piker Content Nuke with the United States Library of Congress. Some of you guys out there sweating? Even though theoretically I could sue a lot more creators and rake in millions of dollars, but the purpose of this is not financial gain. People like XQC and Asmongold may have watched the entire thing, but I would never sue them just for doing that. I don't want to chill the reaction community into fear. Actually, the opposite. I hope that we can all unite against this type of egregious behavior that not only makes us all look bad, but could destroy the commentary community as we know.
People, including myself, don't have an issue with streamers reacting to pieces of content as long as it is fair use, as long as they are giving active commentary, as long as they're pausing the video frequently, adding something to that piece of content, and that when they decide to upload that VOD, even if they do upload the full reaction in full, that their title is more different, that their thumbnail is more stylized, so that, you know, you're not taking viewers away from that original piece of content, and you are also trying to promote them towards that original video, maybe even linking it in the chat, linking it in the description, shouting it out in the actual video several times towards the beginning and at the end, that type of stuff to prevent, you know, loss of viewers towards an actual content creator that you are reacting to. I do understand, more importantly, going after people that do chair reactions, add very little commentary, do infringe on copyright, stuff that isn't fair use. I do understand that a lot more. I just don't think I particularly agree with going down the legal action, because again, I think it sends a bad precedent where this type of thing can be heavily weaponized against other streamers, other content creators, the commentary community, and other people, and I do think that does set a bad precedent, moreover than just taking legal action. The intention when doing this, and where you do it, and who you go after with this, is equally as important.
Tell you who the 3 people I'm suing are. I just want to make it clear that they all met this very specific high bar of criteria that I set forth earlier. These people were not targeted based on their gender, their identity, their political beliefs. All 3 are on this list. In fact, they're the only 3, as far as I could tell, that reacted to the full video. Drum roll, please. Who's sweating at home, guys? Kaceytron, the queen of ripping farts and bonglos. Frogan, who, bless her soul, she's still rising.
Can I walk away and use the bathroom? Do I have permission? Can I use the bathroom, please? I'll leave it playing.
I do believe that's a pretty egregious example from Frogan. She's asked her chat if she can go to a toilet, and if you're streaming and you need to go to the toilet or you need to do something, most normal streamers will just pause the video. So you don't lose context, so you don't lose the point of the video, so you don't not know what's going on within the piece of content you're watching, but as well, you're not just at that point streaming a video to a bunch of random people.
Apparently thinks Twitch is liable for me interviewing a Yemeni teenager who's only known genocide his entire life.
What happens?
And Denims, the queen of self-owning. And my God, is she the queen of that?
Now, Ethan Klein shows several examples of these content creators, Denims, Frogan, and kaceytron, doing things that wouldn't be classed as fair use. So maybe not giving any commentary, maybe smoking more than actually talking, getting up from your chair and just leaving the rest of the video playing whilst you're gone. Things that definitely aren't fair use.
I've been wanting to watch this without necessarily supporting Ethan Klein. So we're going to watch it.
Well, that's a really dumb thing to say, don't you think? Why are you so comfortable?
And of course, this is the thing we were speaking about earlier. Of course, here she is very clearly stating her intentions that, yeah, you don't watch this video, you can just watch this if you don't want to go and give Ethan Klein a view. But of course, I feel like this does set a precedent that if someone does make a similar joke to that, like many other content creators have in the past, that now that can be weaponized against them.
All that is, this is the part that really got her sued.
A lot of people have been wanting to watch this without necessarily supporting Ethan Klein. Without necessarily supporting Ethan Klein. So we're gonna watch it. What the fuck is going on here?
Stating outright that her intention of doing this is so that people who don't want to support me can watch it through her is why copyright infringement laws exist. You could not and should not do that, especially if your commentary consists of you taking bong loads. At least try to engage with the content.
I mean, that is clearly part of her intention here, is to take viewers away from Ethan Klein and give people an alternative if they don't want to give him viewers. That's something she's explicitly said. It's not off the cuff comment. And then on top of that, she's as well sitting there giving not very much of a reaction, just in the corner, saying not much at all.
Content. The Queen of Self-Own included a countdown timer so we could tell exactly how long she was away. After being gone for a few minutes, she returns and then sits silently for another couple of minutes eating.
I'm gonna go pee, and hopefully, when I'm back, they're done with this.
I mean, yeah, another egregious example. Denims pauses the video to let everyone know that she wants to go for a piss, and then she unpauses the video while she goes for said piss and just leaves her chair reacting there.
That, my friend, is called theft, and you're a thief, and now I'm suing you. This is just a testimony to how brazen and how safe they've, gotten. That she thinks she can go out in public on video and say shit like, I'm stealing this content because I want to. I'm coping even though I know it's stealing. When people watch it with me, they're definitely not going to go watch the original. Like, you are way too comfortable committing crimes out in the open. Well, there you have it. 3 separate lawsuits for 3 separate geniuses. Now, I want to make it clear again, and I hope it's been obvious about why I'm suing these 3 people and not others. These people not only violated all of the principles of fair use, they also did it maliciously.
Ethan, while I agree about React chair streamers and fair use, like, sitting in the corner and not saying anything, not giving a reaction, and everything we've spoken about in this video, I stand by all my thoughts on fair use. But to me, this screams like you've chosen these 3 people because these are people that you've been going at for some time now. These are people in Hassan's camp, these are people that you've been having debates with, having arguments with, being in active drama with. That's what it comes to me of, that's also an underlying reason that you've chosen this, or possibly one of the main reasons you've chosen these content creators. The lawsuits Ethan Klein has weaponized in his retarded war with Hassan is bad for the space. I think Frogan gets like 200 viewers live. If it was Hassan suing smaller creators out of malice, people in the H3 camp would be losing their minds. Because Ethan said himself he could be suing lots of other different content creators, but he's not going to do that. He's chosen these 3 content creators for a specific reason. Then he's listed all these reasons to do with fair use. But I do think a big factor, one of the main factors here, is the fact he's had active drama with all these people, and that's what it stinks of. To put some of my thoughts best, I can easily see people weaponizing this reason maliciously in the future, so definitely a slippery slope situation. And it feels like a lot of the people are just blindly ignoring Nuance because of the whole Ethan situation, on top of the fact that nobody really feels sympathy for those 3 in general. There are a lot of nuances at play here. There's lots of factors at play. There are lots of different opinions and thoughts that you're probably going to have about my video, about his video, about the situation at hand, and that's okay. But I think it's important to know as well, and to take into account that, yeah, you probably don't like Frogan, Denims, or kaceytron. I certainly don't. I absolutely despise Frogan, and I made fun of Denims quite a lot on this channel. And I think it's important to set aside your dislikes and your hatred for people in this regard, and take a look at it from a non-biased approach. And I'd be very interested to see what you, the viewer, has to say about that down below in the comments. I'm very open to other people's thoughts, and I will be reading them. All these content creators that Ethan Klein is suing have all individually made GoFundMes in response to this, and I've got to say that the GoFundMes aren't raising much money whatsoever. People just genuinely don't seem interested in raising money for these people, because again, these people are incredibly disliked, and there are lots, again, nuances around the GoFundMe stuff. Like I've said in this video, to a certain extent, I do agree with Ethan Klein. There are things that I have agreed with him in this video to do with. So like stealing viewers away from his video, I do think that's a bad thing to do. I think the chair reaction stuff, as I've explicitly said in this video, I do think that's bad. Basically, anything to do with fair use, I have agreed with Ethan Klein on here. But I just think there are some things that you can critique Ethan Klein here for, and I don't think people should just be blindly agreeing with Ethan Klein or blindly hating against him. It is an incredibly nuanced situation that does take a delicate hand to take a look at. I do hope that's come across in this video, that I'm not just trying to blindly hate on Ethan Klein. Ethan Klein is somebody who I've heavily defended against people like iDubbbz, Anissa, Hassan over the past few months, because I do believe for the most part that he has been in the right in this situation. But I do have a lot to say about this, a lot of nuanced opinions, lots of different opinions, some that are even contrasting at times. Everybody watching, what's your thoughts on all of this? Please feel free to respectfully leave your thoughts down below, and I'd love to hear what you have to say about it. And once you're done there, leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss an upcoming Slop Meal video. But I've been your host, Samuel, and I will catch you in the next Slopic. Goodbye.